Hey guys, what's going on? DevKing56 here, back to continue with my Let's Play of none other than Return of the Obra Dinn. Welcome back. It was a bit of a rockier start. A couple episodes ago, we were building up some momentum, and I guess, like, the way I would describe things currently is we're in the end game. So welcome to the end game. The end game being we've filled in all the actual chapters of the book. If we go to the table of contents, we have everything except for the bargain as far as like fully storied out. And in fact, the game is offering us to go back and hand the book over to the actual author of the book, Mr. Henry Evans. However, we're not going to do that because we have a lot of crew that we want to find out the identity of, as you can see here. So that is our aim today. We have so many things that we want to figure out, and I was trying to think of a good method to try to sort of spur us along here. I really don't have a good sort of system, but I think one thing that we can try when it comes to trying to figure out who and what is to go into the deck plans here and start figuring out rooms. So we have passenger cargo, things like the bosun's store. We have murders that happen in these places, and I feel like if we can identify specific people who might be in these rooms, we might have a better chance of just getting a couple different identities. So I think that's the one thing I've really been wanting to stress as I go along, so that's definitely something that I think I will aim to try to do today. So as you can see, all the rooms are named, and we're going to try to figure out who is in these rooms. I think there's at least one scene where I know somebody was standing inside of the room, and I think it was one of the captain's sort of mates, if you will. So that'll be something to pay attention to as we go along here. Now, as I look in the rooms, I'm trying to see if there might be any, like, identifying information as we go, because I feel like that'll be a linchpin sort of thing where, oh, this guy has, like, maybe initials on his bed, or, for example, there's, like, one thing that really stood out to me in the last episode, and this is, like, a very specific thing that I feel like will give me answers, is there was some dude with a pipe. So that pipe is very obvious in the death scene, and it's very obvious when he's smoking it, otherwise. So I think that'll be something to be very involved with as we go along here. So once again, like, looking for identifying features in these rooms would be fantastic, and we'll go from there. So let's see, this is the second mate's room. I think we've correctly identified all of the mates of the ship. Let's take a look at the crew here. So we have all of the mates except for the fourth mate, John Davies, here, potentially. As long as there's not a check mark, I'm assuming we don't actually know what's going on with them. So I feel like this Edward Nichols guy is a very high priority, complete person that we might figure out the bosun's mate thing here, and we'll go from there. So let's take a look at the rooms on the ship and see if we can find the different captains. So the fourth mate is next to the second mate here. So we'll see maybe if there's some identifying information in the room, and I'm not really seeing it per se, which is kind of a bit of a strikeout, and that's fine. It is what it is. I mean, just not seeing anything in front of the room is not a big deal. Maybe if there's somebody, like, crawling to the room, that would be more interesting, you know? But it's okay. This guy is an unknown soul here, shot by a gun from an unknown attacker. I think this is the guy that was clubbed over here. So let's go back to this scene really quick and just see. I mean, this guy got absolutely... his head is blown off, as you can see. We have this guy over here. He's wearing a hat. So, like, I want to wager a guess that these guys are, like, potentially mates, you know? So, like, we already have the third mate. We already have the third mate, Stuart. We have the second mate here and the first mate. And there's nobody else. I mean, this guy's kind of interesting with the hat, but this guy, I feel like, might be the fourth mate. But we don't know who he was clubbed by, so it's not, like, helpful in a way. I'm inclined to make this guy the fourth mate, John Davies, but we don't know who he's being clubbed by in the scene. That's the problem, right? So we're also like one scene ahead here, I think. So this guy's the fourth mate. Oh, hold on. This fourth mate is shooting. They're actually shooting the other hack guy here, which is kind of interesting. So there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be some finessing going on here as far as what we're going to be deducing and all of that. So like an open door here, but it's not really giving us anything. We know that this is the guy that was knifed. Did we already figure out his? We didn't. Okay. So let's go back to his parish page. Who was he stabbed by? Was he stabbed by... Oh well, we'll figure this out. So let's go back here and actually just go through this door. We'll worry about those deaths in a second. I'm definitely chiefly interested in this kerfuffle, though, for sure. Because we need to figure out who clubbed this guy. Okay. Let's go back and look at the rooms as we see here. So the fourth mate and second mate are here. The bosun and the bosun mate are next to each other. I almost want to see if there's anything identifying in the bosun and bosun mate rooms, because those are other big things that we want to get. Okay, so there's a pipe right here. I'm assuming that's a pipe. It kind of looks pipe-ish. Maybe the bosun's the guy that dies on the boat with the mermaids. And the bosun mate's another interesting one. There's nothing, like, terribly identifying in this room, unfortunately. And I feel like I've been thinking that that was the Frenchman all along, and that's been kind of messing with me a little bit here. So, the midshipmen and the stewards are in both of these rooms. So I'm curious as to if there's anything good in here. We have some clothing that we want to keep mind of. I wish I could take like a screenshot and save it. And pull up my notebook during a memory, but that's not going to be the case. So we need to do our best to identify the people involved in this actual scuffle here, because that's going to be super, super key as we go along. So we're not in a memory per se, are we? I don't think so. We need to go back to the table of contents and take a look at the timeline of events here. So this escape comes from over here. Here's the clubbing. And then this guy somebody crawls in here and dies, which is like kind of wild. But both of the people involved in here run away. I'm wondering if the guy that clubs this guy is involved in the captaincy at some degree. These guys are next to each other, and this is the guy that shoots this guy over here. We still don't know what that guy's all about, too, and I know that's kind of an interesting thing. Let's go back to the crew here. If we look at them all together, these are all the midshipmen. These guys are all together. We only know the one guy, but we're pretty confident that we know the two fates of these men here. It'd be really nice to... Oh, wait, you know what? Oh, these stewards all have this uniform. Okay. Interesting. So, is a steward over here, then? I don't think any of these guys are stewards. I think we can actually... Except for maybe this guy. I think we can eliminate that this guy is a steward. So... Yeah, this poor guy got absolutely fucked up. We know that they're together. Are we sure about this guy? We're maybe confident that this guy is Paul. He's a 1 triangle, so that's pretty good. Where does this guy die? Do we even know how this guy dies? And then there's that weird guy named O'Hagan in that scene. It's like this guy might be O'Hagan. This might be the second mate Stewart, because why wouldn't the second mate Stewart go out with the second mate, right? Like, I feel like that wouldn't be a bad deal. Second mate Stewart, Samuel Galligan. And then figuring out the Captain Stewart would be kind of important as well. Okay. We have an idea as far as the uniform of the stewards. It's like, that's not the same uniform because the collar's different. The midshipmen are all wearing similar things. This could be the gunner's mates. I mean, this guy could be the gunner's mate too. You know, all the topmen are the same too. These two are interesting. Because I feel like I know this guy, and he's like the chef or the butcher. And his assistant are together in the same. So there's a couple like different things I wanted to accomplish today. I'm all over the place because I'm just trying to think of exactly what's going on here. And once again, I feel like this guy here, he actually disappeared. So that's kind of interesting. He could be a mate as well. He's the carpenter's mate. We got this guy right. He was clubbed by an unknown attacker, of course. And we got the carpenter correct. We gotta figure out who clubbed this guy. I mean, we know who clubbed that guy. It's this guy here, who has a brother. But we need to get their names. That's gonna be another thing to deal with as well. We got these guys correct, her correct. I want to go back to our first memory of this guy, and it'll be at the shooting, right? Or no? Yeah, take him to the carpenters. Okay. Did we get the guy named Charlie? I don't think so, actually. Yeah, we did. Okay, so we got the we got this guy who's correct. We know this guy is the surgeon 100%. Like I'm almost like 1,000,000%. I'm almost 1,000,000% sure. So that means like, you know, 999,000%. Correct. And I'll show you why. Let's see if we can show the memories on the deck map here. It's the... not the Unholy Captives one. Maybe, just maybe. Oh, I'll show you what I was saying too, by the way. So you can actually zip through these memories by clicking like the black thing, I think. So you can see where they next were seen, potentially. I don't know. Okay, let's see. We need to go back to... who was... okay, you know what? I can do it a different way, and I'll show you what I mean. Go to the crew. We know that this guy was shot, so we can go where this is here. So we'll go up to that location. It should be here. And I'll show you what I mean by, like, oh, he's the cook or whatever. Here and here. So this guy is holding a tool that, like, a chef or carpenter would have. So we need to figure out this guy. And we need to figure out how he dies, actually. I just couldn't get an answer to that, but I'm pretty sure that he is the chef, or like the butcher's mate. I mean, he's wearing like the butcher's suit, and he's wearing more of like a cook's apron. So I'm very inclined to say that he's the cook, or the butcher. So I want to hit butcher, I think, for him. Look at that! Okay. That was kind of an easier one, right? I'm glad we got her death correct. Phew, okay. We'll take 3 more. Not bad, not bad. We'll go back to our memory here. So I think this guy is going to be the cook, just by sort of process of elimination. So we need to figure out how this guy dies, 100%. So let's go to his corpse. It's on the next stack down between the stairs. Once again, tons of like people to be figuring out who they are and what they're doing here. Can we tell like roles just by who's standing near who? I feel like that's gonna be important as well. Like, once again, we know that this is the guy that murdered that guy. The 4th mate. Is this Stuart nearby, maybe? Maybe we can say this is the 4th mate, Stuart. Just by the way he's standing. He's standing next to his guy. We know this is the carpenter's mate. Who's this guy? I don't even know this guy. Who are you, man? We'll see who's standing with who here. I'm wondering if this is the... Who is this guy? First mate. Do we know this guy at all? Is this the ship's... He has a unique hat compared to all the other stewards. I wonder if he's like... I mean, he could be the gunner's mate as well. These guys are all wearing... Actually, they're wearing different things, I see. Right? Like... They're all standing next to each other. Second mates. Yeah, see, I'm almost positive this is the second mate's steward. Just by who's standing with whom, you know? He's the first mate, so that could be the first mate's steward. But at the same time, once again, he's near the rightful, the gunner, etc., etc. Oh, it's a rooster. I never noticed that. I feel like this is a great scene for identifying important people. He's one of the top men that gets electrocuted, absolutely. That also will be important as well. I think we did a pretty good job with this scene. So I think we should back out of it. Actually, first of all, what we should do is figure out how this guy dies. Unholy Captive 7, like I said, so we should go to that spot. I'm just going to remove all my bookmarks here. And we'll bookmark this guy. Okay, so we'll bookmark his memories. And that's what I mean by the black. Clicking on the black tab will skip you around, which is really nice. So it's a quicker way to figure everything out. So very happy about that. Yeah, this definitely is the chef. So let's get out of here. And we'll just figure out how a couple more people die, and then we'll have a better idea of probably honestly, I think we can get 3 more fates out of this in the next like little bit. So we'll go here, and then we're probably on the wrong side of the ship actually. Yeah, so we'll go into between the stairs over this way. I think figuring out the cannon area is important as well. So there we go. This should be the corpse right here. Okay, so it looks like... Did he get clawed is the question, right? Like, so the music is like really loud, so I apologize. Let's just listen in. I don't think he was struck, maybe, right? Is this the tail? I think that's maybe what happened, actually. What if it was struck by tail? Right? I feel like that's pretty good estimation of what happened here. It's definitely the tail of the beast. Because I really don't have another theory, I guess. I just don't. There's another 3-star dude there. Who's helping him? That's the guy we just looked at. I'm stupid. All right, hold on. This guy here, Lars. This guy was clawed by a beast. This guy was speared by a beast. Although we're supposed to know this guy. Apparently. Interesting. There's so many people in this scene, though, it's hard to say, like, oh yeah, it's gotta be this guy or that guy. That'll be interesting, though, as we go forward here. These guys are together. They're always holding people back. Maybe they're like the purser or something. They're always together. I'll have to figure out like what the hell a purser is. I don't know. We gotta figure out the bosun, the bosun's mate. 1,000,000%. That's actually 1,000,000%. Okay, so I'm more inclined to think that this guy... We gotta figure out how that guy died too. I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, but we'll figure it out. I think we got the chef. I think we got the chef thing right. Surgeon and the mate. Pretty sure this is his mate, right? Yeah. Who else is here? Just a random-ish gunner guy? Okay. Alright. Let's go back to our usual place of ops here, which is through this door. This guy running away seems very odd. Like, why this guy just running away? It's difficult to sort of put my finger on what I mean by that, but you know what I mean. All right, let's go back to what we wanted to do room-wise and see if there's see if there's a room. So captain's quarters, passenger's cabin. We have the first mate room here. The stewards are in here. The purser's office is out this way. What happened over here? Anything interesting? Carpenters we figured out. The calling is going to be very, very fascinating. Like super fascinating, I think. Passenger's cabin we already kind of took care of. The captain's quarters we know of. This is coming from the first mate here. Should we go back to the murder? Why here? There's so many relationships that are so interesting to me. There's also one thing I wanted to check on as I think about it too. I want to go back to the crew. Two of the women. Is one of them a mom of somebody named Peter? Someone's like, tell Pete's mom XYZ. It's this Pete Milroy guy. Is there somebody else with the last name Milroy? That's a passenger, maybe? No. Okay. Figuring out the other two women might be interesting. But we actually don't know what the fates of them, so I guess it doesn't matter per se. Figuring out who shot this guy would be good. Right? Like, I feel like that would just close a chapter for us of sorts. But until then, we need to identify some more people. So, should we figure out this whole cannon business? Because I feel like there might be a lot to glean about that in the Doom. That would be not a bad idea per se. So this is the Doom Part 5. Doom Part 6. Part 7, and then Part 8. That's where that woman dies. Oopsies, I traced that back incorrectly here. I wish there's a way to, like, I guess you could walk through in a sequential sort of fashion here. Let's start with this guy here. He's a 3-star. Crushed by a cannon. Christian Wolf. We need to figure out who blasted him, I guess. That would be prudent. And then identifying this guy, even though he's a 3 triangle, would be pretty good too. So let's go over this way. I think this is where we want to be. There we go. Ugh. Good noises, you know? Was this guy actually blasted by a cannon? I don't think so. I think he might have been crushed. Right? Because the next scene... Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he was... Did this guy light the fuse? If only we could figure out who the hell this guy is. Like, what? Like... Can we unbookmark this guy? Let's remove all the bookmarks from him. We'll just assume that we got that right. Let's bookmark his memories. He's in the bitter cold. He's next here. He's next here. Figuring out all these people would be like really important. He's here as well, which is just... We're gonna have to sort of track him through the memories. I think he's part of the... Not the midshipmen, but... not the top men either. They're a bunch of... I think there's a group of Indian passengers. Yeah, William Wasim, Abraham Akbar, and Renfred Rajub. I think these guys are all... There's 3 like Indian passengers, and I think these are all them, actually. So figuring out who the hell these guys are would be very important. Because I think this guy is the one that lit the fuse based on like what's going on in this scene. So I think actually if we can get out of here, we should probably be a bit more picky into going into these memories because they take a bit to get out of. But we'll go from there. I think that's like a pretty good heading, honestly. We need to do some digging on who is doing what and where and how. I think some of the clues could involve using the hammocks that we saw in all these scenes. Once again, trying to go for personally identifying information, but I'm happy we got to 15 fates. So for now, we'll take a break. Thanks so much for watching my Let's Play of none other than Return of the Obra Dinn. My name is DuffKing56. I'll see you guys later. Peace out and bye-bye.